the music industry changes like every 3 to 6 months. Like the sound just changes, and so I just basically was like, nah, I'm kind of good. I just kind of fell back from that situation, and then I just started doing more, just producing and doing more management with, different, a few different artists here and there. So
let me ask you something based on what you said. So it basically, 2 years later, they want to now release you. And of course, at this point, mentally you was a different man, mentally you was a different artist, and you weren't comfortable with it. So it leads me to say now, because I always try to tell producers and artists, when you're writing something, write it in a futuristic sense, or try to become the future where you think music is going.
Right.
You know what I mean? Try to write music that has longevity.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, okay. So, just let's, again, this is about learning. We're sharing experiences, he's sharing his experience, because we're trying to teach you guys how to basically prepare yourself for the industry. And one of those things is try to write or produce music for its longevity. And the proof is in the pudding with like some of the greatest hits ever, man, that's still making money, you know what I mean? Like, you can name them, Charlie Wilson, the OJs, again.
Right.
Old school people y'all might not know about. To even like, we just bought up 112 and Genuine, them, classic music.
Right.
That still holds true to the test of time.
Right.
Yeah, man. So, try to be, write music that is basically going to have longevity in a nutshell.
Right. But what's happening now is, I remember doing a showcase out here in Columbia, and we're not too far from Atlanta.
Right.
But when I did that showcase, I noticed like a lot of the artists in this area. I was there basically representing, So Def. They had my name on the flyers or whatever they put out at the showcase. But it was like a long line of artists that performed that night, and the sound that I heard was what was currently the sound that was current at the time. And I kind of explained to them, like, if you guys are trying to move from here and go to Atlanta already has this sound that you're currently creating here. Right. So why would a record label want to put your records out when they already have that in their backyard?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what you said is definitely key, because you definitely want to have a sound that if you did not come out in the next 6 months, when it does come out, it's still going to sound current or new or fresh, as opposed to what everything else sounds like at the time. So that's definitely a good point. I remember I put a question on the channel. I was asking producers that if they put out, or the type of production that they produced, one of the guys was telling me that a multi-platinum producer was saying that they should make music that's currently out right now, or produce music that's currently out right now, as opposed to trying to create their own sound. Which can kind of go both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just kind of felt like creating your own sound is always a good thing.
Right.
Right. And I was just kind of trying to explain that most of the greatest producers produced their own sound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what made people go to them for that sound.
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus me being that producer, that's a chameleon. I can produce everything. That's great to do that, but I guess by the way that I came up doing production, like I'm gonna give you an example. When I call out some names, you'll immediately know these producers just had their own sound. They didn't sound like anybody else.
Right.
So if I call out somebody like Eric Sermon,
right,
you already know that sound right there.
Right.
He's distinguished, his own sound. DJ Premier,
right,
you know that sound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I want to sound like a Dr. Dre,
right,
you know Dre's sound. You know what I'm saying? So Pharrell, you know Pharrell's sound. Timbaland,
right,
you know Timbaland sound. So, but if I come to you for a Timbaland sound, that's just not gonna make too much sense. If you have that opportunity, okay, I could sit down and listen to a Timbaland beat and create one similar to that beat, which is what's happening in the music industry right now.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to touch on that.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the type beats is going on right now.
Right.
And, you know, that's one of the things I've taught producers, like, be unique. I've always said be unique, but also pay your bills. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's that thing, that balance you said, you know, yeah, I get it, you know, create your own sound, you know, but at the same time, you know, what's going on with the type beats is the same thing that's been going on since music been made.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of producers are now really worried because they're saying that type beat producers are affecting the industry financially. They're saying there's no originality behind it, and a lot of different things. And I'm just going to chime in on my little part real quick, but I want your observation and, you know, how you feel about it. To me, there is nothing happening right now that isn't already happening, and I've proven that when it comes to, like, with Drake. Okay, but most of his sound was hybrid sounds taken from other genres of music.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And what he did was just bring it on over into the hip hop arena.
That's true.
But there's a lot of music that is complete, you know, copies. You know what I mean? There's complete copy of music. But my point is, to me, in the type beats type situation, I don't think there is nothing happening now that ain't already happened. That's just me personally.
Right.
My thing is, okay, I think that it should be some kind of advancements to it. I think somebody needs to take the type beats and do something different to it. Okay, now add hooks. Modify it, you know, add a hook to it, add some verses, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, change the game up a little bit,
Correct.
you know what I mean? Don't just copy a damn beat and leave it there,
Right.
you know, but what is your opinion on the type beats, man?
Well, I know for one, on YouTube, it's very, very popular. Very popular. So if, like, I did a couple of tracks that are type beats, and I can't deny it, because it will get you more views.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you have a channel that's established and
You're monetizing.
if you're monetizing those videos, of course you can generate some revenue from just having a type beat based on the views.
Right.
But a lot of artists, I think that's the first thing they search for. It's obvious, you know, especially when they go right to YouTube, and whatever the latest nice hot beat is, especially the younger artists, the first thing they're gonna do is, shoot, you know, man, I need a Drake type beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the popular song is, I need a so-and-so type beat. And if you pop up, guess what? You might have just sold a new track right through YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And put some money in your pocket. I mean, so I can't knock it at all. But at the end of the day, I think you should definitely have some jewels tucked away in the treasure chest. So
have some diversity.
Right. So when they do want a different sound, you got something for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Versus the same continuous repetitive stuff that's already out.
Yeah.
You know, so if somebody come with you and say, hey, we want to set up a session with you, we want to hear what you got. And if all you got is everything that's already out, you might lose.
Right.
Might lose.
So if you're paying attention, man, Vic said something pivotal, right? So he just didn't say it this way, but you can generate a ton of leads, okay, with the type beats. Once you get those leads, because, you know what I mean, for me and him, we understand how marketing works. I'm gonna convert you over to my website. I mean, you can get this free type beat and download it, but I need your email address.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I get that email address, now I have a potential client in my database that makes selling the rest of my tracks now, easier.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a way you can do it to basically capitalize off the situation. But like he said, man, be diverse. Don't just have an arsenal full of type beats. You know what I mean? You know, the whole point now is to show your skill set.
Right.
Not that you can copycat another producer, and cause that's the easy part. You know what I mean? What they call it, the government likes to use this word all the time when they what's when they reverse technology.
Right. Right. Reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering.
Right.
Thank you. You know what I mean? So the whole reverse engineering thing. Do it, but do it with the understanding that you have a purpose behind getting it. Because again, what I've seen, man, some of these guys, man, they're getting like 630,000 subscribers, 1 million views, man.
That's and I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I've looked into it and I've seen it, and man, I've seen subscriptions go way up with some of these newer channels. I mean, my channel has been around.
Yours?
Man, my channel's been around 11 years.
Right. We in the same boat. We pushing the same boat. I think you might get me by a year.
11 years. My channel has been around, and I've just been cracking 10.
Right.
That's because I've kind of been sticking to my own sound and creating what I want to create.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The type of music that I like. I really haven't been catering to what everybody else deems to be the hot, the hot thing or the new trend or the new beat. Yeah, I dibble and dabble and I throw a couple tight beats in there, but it hasn't been like my sole focus to build my channel, because I'm more so just trying to teach people.
That's right.
I'm more on the teaching end, just versus just the making end. Right. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like I have a lot more to offer than to just make beats. Right. Just to do tight beats.
And you know that if they subscribe, that's what they'll be subscribing for.
Absolutely. They just be looking for tight beats. But if, I'm geared more towards being able to teach. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, both of us, we definitely have voices, and influence. Right. So, I have built I've built relationships with a lot of producers and artists, through my channel, that if I recommend something just like that, they're going to get it.
That's right.
They know it's the real deal.
Yeah, they know you're not setting them up for failure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's right. So it's a big difference in what we're doing. If we wanted subscribers and we wanted, we want just subscribers that wanted tracks, then we could do it. But we're building our channels, and our relationship with you guys is based on what we're teaching you. It is empowering, you understand, for us to see brothers and half brothers of basically without the same mother that's doing the same thing. Our thing, man, we want to teach and educate you guys. You know what I mean? We've had our spin in the music industry. We're still doing this. We can't get away from it. As much as I tried to get away from it, I couldn't get away from it. But right now it's on to each one, teach one.